Now the videos will be a little bit slower to come out because I'm actually getting burnt out, but I will do my best to upload them like once a week at least. During the leveling not much happened. First thing first, there was these two moments that, well, was kinda difficult, but to be honest all the questing was pretty boring, and that's pretty much the reason why I'm burning out. Like, the challenges are fun, I do like to do the dungeons, but reaching that part is just... I'm tired from it, to be honest. The leveling part is just not my type, especially the amount of time something happened during the leveling that just made me... I don't want to continue. But yeah, I had these two moments where just random humans attacked me and I aggroed some crocodiles as well, and also with the beetles that just came from everywhere for some reason, but nothing special. I still didn't feel like I'm in danger, even though that could be the worst case scenario that happened. I still don't see it as, wow, that was hard, like in a dungeon. I still feel like I had it in control, so yeah. Now I know that lots of people love this game, and no hate to you, you play what you want, but personally this is too slow for me. This is too grindy, too slow, and with other people. And the other people you didn't see too much in the videos, but I will show you some examples why I just don't like to play, why other people are around, especially if it's a grindy place where I have to grind and stuff. So again, you can love what you want, but this is just not my type of game. Still, I will complete it, or at least I do my best to complete it, because I have my doubts I'm actually finishing some of the dungeons. But just so you know, I'm actually not enjoying this, but I will do my best. Now, but focus on the video. I remembered something, or because I saw it once on a stream, I don't remember which one. I don't really watch Warcraft stream or play Warcraft, but I did remember something. Westfall. In Westfall there are these dust devils, air elementals roaming around, which is pretty dangerous because they are like 5 or 6 level higher when you're questing them. But they drop something, and for some reason I thought they dropped slumbering sands, so I went there and killed one, and hold and behold, it actually dropped, but with a different name called magical dust, which is actually just an upgrade, because instead of 20 seconds it lasts for 30 seconds. So I can actually farm one of these out. Although you might be able to farm sticky glue somewhere or something similar to it, but I have no idea, and I'm not gonna cheat by looking up the internet. That's still something I try to not to do, because in a way I still feel like that's cheap, because the whole game point is knowledge, and I don't have that knowledge. I came from retail, not from classic. That's mostly the reason I died in dungeons, not because it was difficult, but because I didn't have the knowledge to actually know what I'm doing. Also, as you might know, because I can't look up internet, I'm struggling finding trainers, like the first aid one. I don't know where to craft heavy mage wave and stuff like that. But luckily when I went to Swamp of Sarostona, I found the alchemy trainer, and you can hear it in my reaction. Wait, it's a warlock trainer too. And now, welcome back to why isn't this quest a group quest? Because I found this random guy that wanted to be escorted in Swamp of Sorrows that was captured by the old Draenei's, and of course the logical thing to do for a guy that wants to escape is escape through the middle of the village. Don't just go around or something, no, go through the middle and aggro like 6, 7 and 8 enemies at once. Like, okay, this isn't a group quest, right? I failed like twice or thrice before I actually managed to do it, because he just gets one-shotted. I can't generate that much threat on 6, 7, 8 enemies before he gets one-shotted. Well, in the end I managed to do it, but yeah, this is not a group quest. The same as the Harpy quest is not a group quest, or the Serpent quest wasn't a group quest. But that small little elite rock golem is a group quest. Yeah! Really well designed. Now level 40 is a big level up because that's when you get mounts. Although I had not even close to have enough gold for mounts, so for me it was different reason. Dark Pact. Now this talent looked really useful at lower levels because that looks like a terrible end talent, but now once I get it, it's like the best talent in the game. It's like another mana regeneration from a different mana bar that I can just steal mana from because my pet doesn't really use that much mana, so we just mana override. It was amazing because without gear I have no maximum mana, no mana regeneration, and other useless talents like half, like who needs that? But I needed mana. I was just standing there for so long to just look at the enemies so they die from dots. But now I have mana to actually do things. And finally I managed to find who drops small flame sack, and I don't know why it took me so long to realize that, yeah, dragons looks logical to drop flame sack. I don't know why I was thinking about like salamanders and dustlers and stuff like that. But hey, I got it now. Well, that's kind of nice. Wish I could use it. Huh. Really? I just get a free mount? Wait, cost mana? It costs mana. Wow, I have a free mount? I mean, I was... Isn't it 90 gold? Yeah, I was surprised, but as you can see, I get a mount for free. I guess that's something warlocks do. Nice. I mean, at least I can use my gold on whatever I want. Now, since the game is getting really difficult, the challenges, I mean, and I remember that in Scarlet Library the last boss uses fire magic, I want this fire protection potion. And that means I have to do this. No. Now here's one reason why I don't like to play with other players. Like, I'm already in a situation that I really hate to do. I don't need to add extra to it. Now, of course, you don't make me mad or anything by just doing this, but still, you put me in a situation that I don't want to be in. I mean, I already didn't want it to be in this situation, but you add an extra layer to it. Oh, shit. Wait. This is something I can use. Maybe fishing was worth it. Oh. Oh no, what am I saying? It definitely wasn't worth it. Oh, I hate this so much. So yeah, I got an actual weapon that I can use because it doesn't have stats. Also, there is another reason why I don't like to play with other players. I was just doing my quest, and for some reason this is a grind spot, I guess, for level 60s, but he was just following me, and because he had faster mount than me, he just easily tagged every enemy that I wanted to tag. It's so fun to play with other players, man. And also now I nominate this on the worst questing zone ever, which almost actually made me quit the game, and I'm still thinking about quitting the game. Like, I needed to collect this, collect that, collect that, collect this, collect, oh, also this one, but the drop rate is below 10%, like every 10 to 20 enemies drop 1, and I need 10 or 30 or 5 or 3 or 10 or whatever. It was a nightmare. This was horrible. One quest I did it for 2 hours. Like, think about the Yeti one. Like, I killed 50 Yeti before one drop. Now I pretty much had the same quest, but instead of 1 I needed 10. I'm not joking, that quest took me 2 hours. Luckily, I remember everything that I hate, what happened, where happened, and when it happened. So whenever I needed firefin snappers, I knew where to fish it, because even back then I hated fishing. But I fished up this spear, which I didn't remember it can be fished up, which could be useful in the future. I don't know if it's gonna be, but I just wanted to show that I found another consumable that I might be able to use, although I don't want to be drunk. But enough talking about all this boring crap, let's talk about that everyone is interested in. Scarlet Library, our next dungeon. Now, this dungeon showed me that he's not gonna pull back punches. Like, already 2 elites, and 2-3 elites was almost every group. Also, these elites also had abilities now, and not just like, oh, Turtle King and stuff like that. For example, the Galleon, even though they don't show, they stun me for 6 seconds. I mean, actually, I'm gonna show you a little clip of that. 6-second stun is a huge, and it's also problematic if I'm gonna aggro one while I'm running out, because if they actually gonna stun me, I'm just dead pretty much. Like 6 seconds is too long. But yeah, also there was an adept which heals and smites, but you get the point. These one actually have abilities, and they are paired or even a full group of 3 or 4 enemies at once. Scarlet Library already showing his teeth that he is do everything. But since I have Dark Pact, I wasn't actually that scared of 2-3 enemy kills, because the biggest part that was difficult is I don't have enough mana to heal and fight at the same time to kill 2-3 elites with no problem. But with Dark Pact, I have so much mana, I have no problem. So I cleared out and I reached the first boss. Now, I didn't need to kill the first boss, but because it was a quest I kinda wanted to do, and it already kinda stumped me at first because he has 3 elite dogs, but also the boss damage is insanely high. Like, as you can see in the clip, they just tear through my pets. Like, I'm healing and his life is just still going down. That was such a one-sided fight, it was unbelievable. So my focus was just nuke one dog down, go after the dungeon and go back in when he has one less dog, and repeat, rinse and repeat until he is by himself and kill him. But I could not kill the dog, as you can see. I did my best, I almost died, and just a little notch, if I had a little bit of more time, I could have killed the dog, but I did not want to risk the death, because once again, I'm trying to die as minimal as possible, even though I don't have knowledge of the dungeon. But now with my new ability Howl of Terror, which is just an AoE fear, I managed to go again, although my pet just didn't want to hold aggro for some reason, so they hit me for a long. But I just nuked again one dog, and for this one I actually managed to kill it. Wow, success. But the happiness didn't last long because they are linked, which means if one of them die and you reset the boss just spawned them back. So it's always 3 dogs and the boss, you cannot kill one by one. So for now I figured that I probably just continue the journey, and if I have power or strength after the dungeon, I might as well just go back and kill it. But I needed a new strategy for it, so I needed to think. But the dungeon and the trash wasn't easy, especially that I don't see holes, I guess, because there was a door which I feared one of the enemy and pulled extra 3 enemies, so yeah, my first run out of the dungeon, super fun. But, I mean, I got out, so nothing a big of a deal, but the dungeon, as I said, doesn't hold back punches. Also, speaking of punches, here's the monk. Do you wanna know what he does? This. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? But the real problem was the Chaplain. He had 3 abilities. Inner Fire, which is not that bad because it just increases armor, but the other 2 is Power Word Shield, which is a huge absorb on a target, and Renew, which is so much that it's not even funny. Like, this just counters me. I don't know how to get past through. And you can see it in the clip how much I struggle to fight back. I don't have a solution to it. I do my best, but he just heals me out. I don't know what to do. And yeah, I can perm fear him, I guess, but 1, I'm scared to actually pull anything, and 2, this is just 1 Chaplain. What happens if I pull 2 Chaplains, right? So yeah, I was in a huge problem, but I couldn't kill it, he just out-healed me, so my only logical choice was here is to run out of the dungeon. But here comes the second problem. This is Scarlet Library. Now if you remember Scarlet Graveyard, for some reason the respawn time was 30 minutes there. Looks like it's true for this one as well. Respawn already happened. And yeah. If respawn happen, how am I gonna get out? At the end, I just remembered they can stun me for 3-5 seconds. And I used my swiftness potion, but I used this too late. They still reach me with stun. And I managed to die. And this got me stuck. I mean, look at the time now. You will see why. But this got me stuck. I just didn't know how to continue. I cannot test out things because I don't have time. If I just stop for a minute to test like where is an evade spot or what to do, respawn will catch up to me. It was bad. I needed knowledge, I couldn't get knowledge. And there was an enemy that I just couldn't defeat. I didn't know what to do. I did nothing but think for an hour long. But then I returned to the dungeon because I feel like I found an option. I didn't know if it's a solution yet, but it's an option I can try. And now that I know it's a time waste because I have to hurry, which means I can't really run out of the dungeon in the future once I reach that point, I have 3 goals. 1, to find an evade spot if I need to, which will be really hard because again I'm time-based and I can't really test them out. And 2, find a solution how to defeat the Chaplain, which I do believe I found an option to it. And 3, don't die to monks. So yeah, I had lots on my hands, but I feel like I have a solution. Now first thing first, what I will do is I will pretty much clear out everything. Even in the garden, I will kill everything. Not because it's fun or anything, it's because I need space for fear. My fear, the greatest weakness of fear is that I just pull anything and I'm dead. And yeah, I can play with Curse of Recklessness and Exhaustion and stuff like that, so it doesn't actually run and pull, but that requires so much attention, and with that attention I'm also not doing damage because my global cooldown is on the curses. I rather have a free space to fight. And I know the respawn time will always push me, but I needed space to fight, so I cleared everything. And we finally meet our Chaplain once again. Now first thing first, meet Donkey. And he is the key to defeating Chaplain. Now we got unlucky because the Chaplain had a monk, but it doesn't matter because we had Donkey. Now Donkey has 2 important abilities. Devour Magic, which removes a magic effect on the target and heals himself for 300. And that magic effect is pretty much everything on a Chaplain. Inner Fire, Power Word Shield, and Renew. He can eat everything from him and also heals himself, which will be important later on. But the point is, I can actually damage him without him healing himself up or absorbing damage. Donkey was the solution to it. It counters Chaplain. And yeah, the monk needed to be in fear because if he tapped me once I'm dead, but it doesn't matter because we just bursted down Chaplain and we went for the monk. So Donkey was my option and it worked out. He is the solution. Thank you, Donkey. Now the other important ability is that he can interrupt spells for 3 seconds and lock a cool spell type like fire for 6 seconds if he interrupts that type of spell. So yeah, I could actually interrupt Renew as well, which sometimes was worth it since I needed him to devour magic like the Divine Worship, or for example when I was actually fighting 2 Chaplain at once, if they managed to double Renew or stuff like that, I could just eat one off and interrupt the other one. So even with 2 Chaplains, they were no problem to me because Donkey is literally saved my life in this dungeon. Now the challenging part of this dungeon is to know which pet am I gonna use. Is it Donkey, Critical Tango, or Fiona? Even though Fiona was chosen and probably a better choice than the other 2 in some cases, I didn't use her because she wasn't that important like the other 2, but Critical Tango and Donkey, it was life and death situation if I used the correct one or not. And yep, that was mostly the challenge, and it was still difficult, especially when we started reaching 3 enemies at once. And speaking of 3 enemies, this one I thought is still Chaplain, but there was a hidden monk there, and that messed me up so much because I was not ready for it, and I was struggling, but even if I was struggling, I really wanted to kill at least one before I do something, and luckily, when I was actually just waiting and stuff like that, I was looking up for evade spots, and I found this window which looked like an evade spot, but I wasn't 100% sure because I never could have tested out. I just only see it with my pet, but the pet is not 100% certainty. And yeah, I had to go to the window, but luckily it is an evade spot. But yeah, new problem came up, which was the respawn, because the enemies actually started to respawn as well. So I did use one invisibility potion just so I can skip the trash. I didn't need to. I could have just pulled them way back, so I don't, not another respawn on me, but I didn't want to deal with it, so I just didn't potion it. And I know I want to use it as low amount as possible, because invisibility potion does feel like a little bit of cheating, but I mean, it's just, I just use it for so I don't have to clear the same trash twice, which is easily counterable by just pulling it back where you were, where definitely won't respawn. That was the reason. I'm sorry. I just didn't want it to kill it again. Now, as I said, Donkey's Devour Magic also heals him for 300 whenever he hits a magic off, which is important. It's pretty simple why. He can tank. Now, even though this group had Chaplain and 2 monks, as long as the Chaplain lived, Donkey just healed himself up so well that he can easily tank 1 monk while the other is feared. This guy is just a beast, like, my man. Critical tank on Donkey is just on a whole other level. I swear, soon they will actually just solo bosses without me. Also, since the window is not an option anymore, I luckily found a new evade spot. Yeah, for me, but I don't have that much time to use it because the respawn is coming up soon. Now, even though it was really interesting for me, the gameplay and how to counter them and everything, it was kind of the same thing over and over again, so I'm not gonna put it in the video. I'm gonna put this fight in because this was probably the hardest fight with 2 monks. And yeah, most of the fight I'm not gonna show you because it's kind of the same. Sometimes you use Donkey, sometimes you use Critical Tango, and I just counter them slowly and surely that the Petra doesn't actually catch up. But yeah, watch this fight, just so you know this was the hardest one, but once again I found an evade spot, so I was fine. Now it was finally a boss time, and because I knew it's a fire mage, I just used fire protection potion and I used Donkey to fight. To realize that he is actually not a fire mage but a melee mage. What? Sometimes I use arcane spells like Arcane Explosion and Polymorph and Silence, but... Huh? A mage that doesn't cast spells, I guess, is the last boss. I kind of was surprised, so I just evaded because, yeah, I'm not gonna use Donkey if it doesn't cast spells. But I guess my retail knowledge effed me up here, because in retail he is a fire mage for sure. I guess here it's not true. Now my third try, because on the second try I managed to dismiss my pet in combat, so good job me. It was actually a really simple fight, like, the trash was the real challenge, not the boss, but here's the full video. And yeah, Scarlet Library has been completed. Even though the boss was no challenge, the trash was really hard actually. And just for fun, I checked where was the respawn at. Oh boy, if I was like 1 or 2 minutes later, I would have to fight the respawns as well with the boss. So I managed. It was close, but I managed. Well, the video is over. I'm just gonna let the end play so you can understand how I felt, and you can hear my tired ass voice because it was really late and I was really tired, how I felt about this dungeon. But yeah, this is over, and yeah, I'm still gonna upload parts of this WoW, but it's gonna be slower because one, it's now slower, the gameplay is slower, reaching a dungeon is slower, and two, I'm once again burnt out by questing. The dungeon is fun, the questing is not. So, bye! This dungeon was kind of difficult, not gonna lie. But weirdly enough, it wasn't because of the boss, but because how fast I had to work and quickly make my decision how to defeat them. I didn't have time to think. I just had to go and hope the evade spot I found will be actual evade spot. Interesting dungeon. I still think Numbergun was very hard. This was just the dungeon that doesn't give you time, and it's not that problematic if I would know the dungeon, but because I had no idea how strong the monks are, like, because they have Thresh, which is just free auto attack at once, which pretty much was my 75% of my health, and also did kill my pet really fast too. And also the Chaplain, which really messed me up, but luckily we have Donkey. To be honest, I thought I would never use Donkey. I just didn't see where can I use it, but wow, it was really good in this dungeon. Especially how tanky he became whenever he develops magic, because he heals himself for like 331 health, and that's insane amount. He could actually tank a monk as long as there was a chaplain to eat, which is nuts. Donkey was really the MVP in this one. But yeah, the dungeon was difficult, but it's mostly because I didn't have the knowledge for it. Houndmaster I can defeat. I already figured out how would I do it, but I'm not going back. I'm just not. That dungeon just took everything out of me, and also I would break the rule that I cannot repeat dungeons, which doesn't really make sense as a rule, because not like I'm gonna gear in dungeons, so why would I go in the same dungeon once again? But I did that rule, so the rule gonna stay. But yeah, I can defeat Houndmaster, there's no doubt, with magic dust, fear, half the roll, and just knock down the boss type of thing. It actually isn't that bad. Just succubus, nuke boss. I mean, let succubus tank the boss for a while High of Terror works. Then, when succubus kills close to death. No, actually, I better let Voidwalker doesn't do the work. Sacrifice. Oh, actually, probably Voidwalker is better than succubus against that fight. Hard to tell. The point is, it is possible to do. With magic test, Howl of Terror, and fear, you can easily control them. And since mana is not an issue anymore, because of Dark Pact, it is possible. It is a really difficult fight. It's way harder than the last boss I just killed now. But it is possible. But yeah, the real challenge was to know your enemies, learn them, and counter them. It was actually really fun. Since I haven't checked what they do, obviously, I don't cheat. And it was really fun that in real time, when I have time pressure, quickly I have to figure out what to do. And yeah, Donkey gave me that option to actually change between pets. I was thinking about Fiona too a lot too. There were moments I'm pretty sure Fiona would have been better than like Tango or even Donkey.
but I think still the decision I made was really good since I completed the dungeon. And by the looks of it, the respawn time is like 30 minutes. Which doesn't sound a lot. It doesn't sound too much, I mean, but keep in mind I'm alone. Killing 2 elites, 3 elites, it's 2 minutes for me. I don't have that DPS like a 5-man party. Also, I'm naked, so I don't have any damage increase from gears. So yeah. Monks, Chaplain were the real problem. Diviner was like, oh thank god it's Diviner. Like they do absolutely nothing compared to Chaplains and Monks. The Brilliant Adept's part was not that bad, neither the Beastmasters. It's only the Monk and Chaplains. And whenever it was 2 Monks and a Chaplain, or 2 Chaplain and Monk, that's where things got really problematic. But luckily we had a safe spot, so it wasn't that bad. If we wouldn't have a safe spot in the dungeon, it is possible to do, but I'm pretty sure I would have died like 30 times before I actually learned every little niche in these enemies. Also, it was also important to know when to actually interrupt the renew, because you didn't want to always interrupt it, since if your donkey had Devour Magic not on cooldown, and a monk was actually hitting him, it was way better for him to just eat the renew off, so he gets a heal, so he can tank the monk more. So it was kind of also a trap to interrupt renew a lot of time, but it was also important once or twice to interrupt it because Devour Magic was on cooldown. Because as far as I seen, Chaplain likes to spam Inner Fire, which is useless, but it does put Devour Magic on cooldown because it doesn't pick what he eats. A lot of time it couldn't eat the power word shield that I wanted to eat, which I had to damage over through them. But yeah, there was 3 things to eat: Renew, Inner Fire, and power word shield. And the importance were the Renew the most important one, and the power shield second, and Inner Fire was just good for healing. Yeah, Donkey really served me on this run, and I really appreciate him. Also, Critical Tongue as always was phenomenal. I just can't thank my pets how helpful they are. Now that I'm actually thinking back, whenever I was thinking, should I pick Warlock or Mage for this challenge, I'm so happy I picked Warlock. I don't know how far would I go with Mage. I just don't see it. So yeah. It was an interesting dungeon. That's my thoughts. But I really hope it's gonna be the only dungeon like this, but I feel like all the Scarlets are like this, which is really bad because I don't like respawns in a dungeon. I think that's overkill. Like, that's not the point of a dungeon to respawn. Just no. Just don't let it, please. It's fun once or twice, but all the time I just don't want to do this every single time. It is possible, as I'm saying, as long as I have Dark Pact now, which really the skill that saved me so much time. I'm pretty sure it saved me like 5 minutes over. And during a 30 minutes combat, it would save me 5 minutes. Not combat, but 30 minutes just going in a dungeon, it saved me like 5 minutes of time, just the Dark Pact. Because I could just non-stop pull. I don't know if I'm gonna show it on the video, but the way I went at the beginning, just put 2, killed 1, the second one I left at 30%, already went to the next group, at the 30%, let them die, and dots and fear, and it just kept going and didn't stop and just pulled until my pet almost died, so I had to heal him. That was it. I just rushed so hard, and it was worth it because I needed that place. I needed every single place. I didn't have too much place, and I need to fear. Also, Curse of Recklessness and Curse of Exhaustion doing his job with fear, which was also really good. I really had to use my toolkits. I do appreciate that I actually had to use my spells. I did use a lot of Curse of Recklessness, a Curse of Exhaustion, obviously Agonist, Hyphen Life, Corruption, Fear, Drain, so Searing Pain. I didn't use Curse of Tongues. I could have used actually a Diviner to give me more time, but it was not really important. Diviner was pretty empty. However, I did use Amplifier Curse, used half an obviously. Rain often I didn't use, it's just too much mana, and it doesn't do much damage. Dark Pact obviously I use, Dream and Drain Life, yeah, Amulet, yeah. Cannibalize, yeah, I didn't use this one. But I don't think there was anything I could have used this on. Shadow, I could have used this, I actually forgot about this skill, but at the same time I never had an issue with shadow damage. The only shadow damage I got is mono burn, and whenever I got hit by mono burn I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I don't really care. I don't see the point of the skill, so I didn't use it. But yeah. Enslave, Subjugate Demon I still haven't used. I don't know if I'm ever gonna use it, because I don't think I can enslave a demon better than my ones. Obviously I didn't use Imp, and this time I didn't use Fiona either, but Donkey and Tango did amazing job. Yeah, that's it. I pretty much used all my skills, which I'm happy, but also not. Because that means if the game requires me to use my skills more and more, I'm kind of scared that later on the dungeon expect me to use more and more, but I don't have more. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I guess I will see you in the next one. Bye.